She hasn't been heard from for a week, something her family says is unlike the UBC student. 21-year-old Elisa Lam never checked out of her LA hotel, and she was traveling alone. Today, the police called on the public for help. The CBC's Lindsay Duncombe has more from Los Angeles.
The elevator door opened, but she never stepped down. The footage is grainy, the timestamp flickering. A young woman in a red hoodie steps into a Los Angeles hotel elevator. She presses a few buttons, waits. Nothing happens. The door doesn't close. She peeks outside, retreats, hides in the corner, steps out again. Her arms move as if she's talking to someone, but there's no one there. Then, she vanishes. That woman was Elisa Lam, and her final recorded moments would ignite a mystery the internet still hasn't let go. In 2013, Elisa disappeared while staying at the infamous Cecil Hotel. Weeks later, her body was found in the hotel's rooftop water tank, naked, lifeless, and surrounded by questions that made no sense. Was it a tragic accident? A breakdown? Or something far darker? In 2025, over a decade later, new evidence has surfaced. Evidence that might finally crack open the case. But will it offer closure? Or reveal something we were never meant to see? Let's retrace Elisa's final days. Let's confront the truth, buried beneath years of silence. Before the headlines, before the footage, before the theories. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old Canadian student from Vancouver, British Columbia. Her parents, immigrants from Hong Kong, owned a family-run diner called Paul's Restaurant, a local favorite. She wasn't a celebrity, not a runaway. Just a thoughtful, creative girl trying to navigate life. She blogged under the name Etherfields, where she shared everything from fashion editorials to candid reflections on depression and mental health. Later, she moved to Tumblr and created Nouvelle Nouveau, a curated collage of film stills, quotes, art, and fragmented thoughts. If you looked closely, her blog revealed a deep mind, a girl who loved literature, who explored the complexity of emotion, and who wrestled with internal storms. Elisa had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. She was open about it online, but tried to live as normally as possible. Meds like Wellbutrin, Lamictal, and Dexedrine helped stabilize her, and by late 2012, she was on the upswing. She had dreams. She wanted to travel. So, in January 2013, she did. A solo trip along the California coast, San Diego, Santa Cruz, Los Angeles. It was supposed to be an adventure, a break, a new beginning. It became something else entirely. Elisa arrived in LA on January 28th and checked into the Cecil Hotel, a once grand building turned budget stopover on the edge of Skid Row. Half tourists, half long-term residents. A building with a history soaked in death, violence, and tragedy. Initially, Elisa was placed in a shared room with strangers, but within 2 days, hotel staff moved her to a private space after roommates complained about her behavior. Still, nothing seemed outwardly dangerous. On January 31st, she was spotted shopping for books at a nearby store. The clerk described her as upbeat and friendly, chatting about how she'd carry all her new reads on the next leg of her trip. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. Elisa was supposed to check out the next day, head to Santa Cruz. She never did. Her parents, who had spoken to her daily, stopped hearing from her. Alarmed, they flew to LA and contacted the LAPD. A missing persons report was filed. Search dogs combed the building. No scent, no clues. Her room was untouched. Days passed. Then a week. Then, on February 14th, the police did something desperate. They released a 4-minute clip of hotel surveillance footage from February 1st. It changed everything. The elevator video became a cultural phenomenon. It spread like fire. On Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, millions watched. Elisa presses buttons. Waits. The elevator doesn't move. She peeks into the hallway, hides in the corner, steps out again. Her hands flail, as if she's arguing with someone invisible. Her body language is anxious, her gestures disjointed. Then she's gone. No exit, no return. The clip was unsettling, and the internet wanted answers. Was she hiding from someone? Was she hallucinating? Was it a game gone wrong? A possession? A cover-up? Everyone had a theory. And then, something worse. On February 19th, guests at the Cecil started complaining. The water was brown, tasted strange, had no pressure. A maintenance worker climbed the rooftop water tanks to investigate. Inside one of them, floating naked and lifeless, was Elisa Lam. Her clothes were found in the tank, covered in a sand-like residue. Her key, her watch, floating beside her. The water tank lid was reportedly open when she was discovered. The LAPD sealed off the roof, an autopsy was ordered. The ruling? Accidental drowning, with her bipolar disorder listed as a contributing factor. But to many, it didn't add up. Here's the problem. The rooftop was supposedly secure, locked, alarmed. Access required a key and code, yet Elisa got there undetected. The water tanks? Industrial-sized 4-by-8-foot steel containers. No ladders, no stairs. Maintenance workers used portable ladders to access them. Even getting in would have been difficult. And then, how did she close the lid? Actually, she didn't. The lid was open. A disturbing but crucial detail that debunked one mystery while introducing another. Why hadn't the LAPD's search dogs detected her scent on the roof? Why did the toxicology report show low levels of her prescribed medications? Was she going through a manic episode? Was she unmedicated? Or worse, was she not alone? The report noted no alcohol or illegal substances. It also left out key tests, rape kits, fingernail swabs. They may have been done or not. No one really knows. And then there's the most chilling forensic detail, rectal prolapse. Some pathologists say it could be decomposition. Others aren't so sure. Still, the official verdict held. No foul play, just tragedy. But that wasn't the end. After Elisa's death, her Tumblr remained active. New posts appeared, weeks after she was gone. Many dismissed it as Tumblr's queued post feature, scheduled entries Elisa may have written in advance. Others weren't so convinced. Her phone was never found. Not in the tank, not in her room. Had someone accessed her account? Had someone else been with her that night? That eerie blog activity became yet another piece of the puzzle, but it was a puzzle with no picture, only missing pieces. Elisa's case didn't fade, it grew. Like a ghost story no one could stop retelling. Her elevator footage inspired horror films, songs, theories, even TV shows. Her News 2005 film Dark Water, a young girl found in a rooftop tank after elevator malfunctions. American Horror Story Hotel, a woman disappears after getting into an elevator. Hotel based in downtown LA. Crossman, How to Get Away with Murder, Hungry Ghost Ritual, The Zolas, Skinned, Netflix's Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, all wove parts of Elisa's story into fiction. Even Chinese filmmakers and musicians drew from the tragedy. Her death blurred the line between true crime and urban legend. Her face, nervous, searching, lost, became one of the most iconic internet mysteries of our time. But beneath the myth, there was always a girl, a daughter, a friend, someone who didn't make it home. Over a decade after Elisa Lam's death was ruled an accident, the internet had mostly gone quiet. The Cecil Hotel was rebranded, repainted, reopened, and the story had faded into eerie YouTube thumbnails and late-night Reddit threads. But in May of 2025, something surfaced, something no one saw coming. It came from a routine estate auction in San Jose. A retired private investigator had passed away, no family, no heirs. Among the boxes of files and gadgets, a hard drive, plain, dusty, but labeled in red marker, Cecil 2013, Backup A. A tech blogger won the lot for $45. When he plugged the drive in, it was mostly junk, old notes, camcorder clips, radio recordings. But buried in one subfolder were 7 video files, dated January 31st, 2013, each one labeled by location: lobby, stairwell, 14th floor, roof access. Most of them had been seen before, but one hadn't. It was footage from a maintenance hallway, one the public had never known existed. The hallway that led from the back of the elevator shaft toward the old fire escape ladder, the one that went straight to the roof. The timestamp, 3:48 a.m., a full hour after the last known footage of Elisa Lam in the elevator. The clip is silent, grainy, but clear enough to see a figure walking. Elisa. Same hoodie, same pace. She's walking stiffly. Her arms look slightly outstretched, as if she's reaching for something. Or someone. Then, 3 seconds later, another figure appears at the far end of the hall. No face, no details, just the silhouette of a man. Tall, thin, motionless. He doesn't follow, doesn't run. He just stands. And Elisa? She turns the corner and vanishes from view. The file ends. Within 24 hours, the clip is online. The internet reignites like wildfire. Was it staged? Edited? Investigators launch inquiries. Digital forensics begin analyzing every frame. Some call it a hoax. Others say it's the footage LAPD never showed us. The Cecil Hotel refuses comment. The LAPD releases a brief statement. We are reviewing all relevant material. The case remains closed. But for the millions who followed the case for years, this was more than just new footage. It was a ghost resurfacing, a silent scream preserved in pixels. And the question now wasn't just what happened to Elisa Lam, it was, why did they hide it? For 12 years. It's been more than a decade since Elisa Lam vanished, and yet her story still echoes. She wasn't a horror story. She wasn't a case file. She was a girl who smiled at books, who took photos of strangers on the subway, who wrote poetry on the internet. The elevator didn't just show her final moments. It showed her fear, her confusion, her isolation. Maybe that's why the world still watches. Because deep down we know this wasn't just a mystery. It was a tragedy that deserved more than silence, more than spectacle. It deserved truth. What do you think happened to Elisa Lam? Was the truth buried? Or have we been seeing it all along? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Stories that haunt, that inspire, and that never quite leave us.